So the mill asked me to, come up with something unique. At first I was thinking something sort of obelisk-like, where there would be like pillars and cutouts, much like that is happening, except flame within, so that we would see cutouts and flickering flames. So I was starting like that, and whether I wanted it to sort of look human-like or Egyptian, I wasn't sure. And then I started thinking that I'd like I had these sort of arch ideas. I wanted to somehow make it so that there was a processionary aspect to it. I was just looking for shapes that I could do, and I've been playing around a lot lately with Fibonacci sequence. And so I was wondering if I could incorporate that. So I was thinking of maybe, making a structural Fibonacci, sort of. And so at this point, I'm just playing with open ideas. So in the past, I've done square and circles, and so I was wondering whether I wanted like a tetrahedron, sort of a bowl kind of flaming. There's also a little bit of pressure this year because the fire marshals got wind of it, so they really want it to be not like crazy. And at this point, I thought it might be kind of neat to have levels where, let's say the fire was starting here, and this is where I would use colors, is have little thin platforms of plywood that would burn fairly simply, and then a whole other flame starts here with birch bark and other things to ignite it and sustain it. But if I could get those chemical reactive colors, that would be neat. So I was just starting to think maybe I can design a sequence of the flame moving through different areas and at the same time giving a neat sort of spectacle to it. If you can see in there, there's a real lot of trees down, including this birch. And I'll harvest all of this for the burn, as well as two others I found. I learn a lot about color on these forest excursions. Sometimes I can't believe it. And this is the basic idea that I'm going to be doing. So we're seeing through it. I wanted to incorporate as much sacred geometry as I could. So in using the Fibonacci curve, there is an actual mathematical sequence to it. So I thought, well, if I don't show the physical snail shell, it might be kind of neat to utilize those numbers in some aspect. And that's when I came up with a footprint of about, it's 60, 65 inches in diameter, of a pentagon, and basically building a nice deck. So out of 4x4 lumber, building this really strong double pentagon. Was like coming up with these mathematical formulas and these patterns of creation, because that pentagon is found in cell structure, in leaves, and everywhere, like much like the Fibonacci curve. These are all, like sacred geometry, are all mathematical numbers and formulas that are directly born from nature, the study of nature. Now what these big 4x4 solid construction is doing is supporting these upside down cedar trees. The tops of the cedar trees are all going to be drilled, and I'm putting paraffin in there and some of these chemical colors if I can. I'll soak the whole top of the tree, and wherever it's rotten, it just supports more wax, so it'll give me a longer fuel time. And I'll be inserting those fire starter sticks in the holes that I made. The wick goes all the way to the waxed top. And the height, they are above this 8-foot mark. So the fire container, the capsule, is going to be 8 feet high. They are going to extend above that using the Fibonacci sequence. And so I've got the two pentagons, the Fibonacci sequence on those. And then within this structure, in the very center, spent the day making waxed birch balls. This one will be the nuclei of the atomic structure. using that same pentagon, I left some of the math out when I was telling you the calculations of that. What it is, it's the 5 times 72 and then 12 times that number, because a dodecahedron is 12 pentagons. Going to be planted in the center like a seed, but surrounding it and obscuring it. So this is sort of working out the sequence of those upside down poles. What you're going to see when you walk up to it that night is just going to be a screen. So there'll be air intake here of, let's say, 18 inches. It ends up being 24 inches from the bottom to the top of that. This is cotton muslin, 25 feet wrapped all around it, giving me 5 screens. So here's the structure. Here's the cedar poles. The dodecahedron's inside, but what I'm making here is a basket using willow branches and red osier dogwood, basically making a 4 foot in diameter basket where I'm weaving all the dogwood. It'll take hundreds and hundreds of saplings, but essentially it'll be this, columnal basket that the dodecahedron's inside and the flame is inside. What you're going to see on that screen is this flickering counterforms of all that construction, giving you these really, really neat shapes. So these reflections are going to be in a hidden projector projecting to the front 2 surfaces. So there's 5 planes on the screen. The front 2 are going to be this slow thing. As people walk to it, it's just going to look neat because they're going to be seeing the screen as a solid projected surface. Well, that's going to be for a half hour as people are gathering and it's getting darker. Then the show is going to actually begin in the woods way up behind with a fire dancer. So there's going to be a guy spinning around flames. And I want to deliver, I haven't figured it all out, but deliver the flames from his fire dance. So there's going to be like 150, 300 people gathered in this parking lot looking up this hill at a guy that's, 40 meters into the woods spinning this around. They're going to be seeing the fire that he's spinning is casting these moving shadows. It'll just be a neat opening. going up, catching a ball of fire. So I'll be carrying this big long thing with this ball of fire. I slide it in and it begins. This is still going to be running on that while it burns. And what's going to happen is this is only going to illuminate the smoke. So the smoke's going to be moving and the light on it's going to be moving. So it could be really, really quite interesting. That's my hope.
So the real art is what the people bring to it and take from it. All I'm doing is setting in motion the sequence of events that creates this moment of art. That would give us a real dramatic, lighting to the screen, which I don't want to happen at first. I want the fire to start from within, spread, then eventually carry here, and then eventually go up. So that's it.